I shouldn't think they'll do me after all these years. Do you think? Of course. You never know though, we're in the UK, but
we can keep it between us. I'm just wondering for my own.
Anyway, it was in Squat City, yeah. So picture like rows of abandoned houses, the council abandoned, and we've all moved into and repaired and rewired and stuff. In fact, I had to basically rebuild a lot of it. But so this South African girl wanted to go on holiday somewhere, but she wanted to come back into the country because she was teacher's training or something, teacher training college. Anyway, so she offered me 50 quid to marry her, and then she'd get the re-entry. It's like a green card thing over here. And I said no, make it 100, because I knew that a Telecaster was about 120. And I've been working actually in Hyde Park, like getting there at 7 AM and like digging the flower beds.
Oh really?
And I've been doing that for weeks and not being able to save any dough because we were kind of putting a rock and roll band together. And I realised that I wasn't getting anywhere. Like, I was never gonna get up to get to 120. It just wasn't gonna happen. So I thought, well, so I went for this ceremony and we got married, and then I took the 100 quid and put it with another 20 and got that black telly quickly before it got frittered away. It's on every record, on every show that I've done, that telly, but I got a backup one, a sort of similar age backup one. Although I just bring that one these days, the backup ones at home. Yeah, they're both 368. Oh really? The black one's, it says 5th of August 1968 on like a library stamp in the back of the neck.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, but just like a sort of thing. And it could be the neck's that old, and it was, someone might have put, you know,
different value
things that does happen. But it can take a beating. We played at a record store in Times Square last July, and the snap strap, and it just happened to fall and it hit the floor like face down, not like one end of it, but flat on like that. When you do one of those big chords, like showing off, and the snap broke, so it flung forward with considerable force. It smacked down, and then bang! It made the greatest noise. And the guitar tech said after.
It was still all plugged in and everything. So
yeah, because it was great.
That's great.
It was the best chord I've ever played. It certainly was. And the guitar tech said after that it was still absolutely kosher. Yeah. And he even said that a lot of other makes of guitars that have gone like scoring, you know. But this thing seems to be well constructed.
Yeah, Telly's a built thing.
Yeah. There's not much to go wrong with it. It's simple.
Yeah, absolutely.
Classic situation was the Balkan conflict. When you talk about complex issues, trying to get to the bottom of the Serbia, the Bosnians, the Albanians, you know, that made me really realize that people move around through the ages, you know, like you can't really say that this bit of ground was always Hittite because the Phoenicians were there.
Eventually somebody else.
And somebody else came through, and like you really see it. Where you saw the dots on the map, you know, our little borders, but the truer history is that it's all kind of it blends from one to another, and like it's very difficult in conflicts like that to say who's in the right. You get tired of doing, say, a lengthy tour, so sometimes it's nice just to do, it makes a real change, you know. Why not do 5 gigs in one place in the middle on their own? It's good for us, and it also keeps us together because everyone else, you know, we've been off the road a couple of months, 3 months maybe, so people are shooting off in different directions. And also I like to keep the same crew if I can, because you get a bond, you know, a friendship. But obviously they go off on other tours when we're not working, so it's a kind of pool of crewmen in London that us, Pulp, Elastica, we all kind of pick on the same guys.
Use the same crew, just kind of mix and match.
Yeah, and they might go off, but it keeps it all going. And another good thing is that although it's 5 times as much work for us, the audience is 5 times nearer.
Sure.
You know, and if you think, because we like to make gigging a pleasurable experience, and quite often it's not. If you're in some huge joint, people are very far away. I can see everybody's face, really, and that's what is called the Shakespeare Theory about rock and roll, which is if you're doing some Shakespeare play in a theatre, the actor can see everybody. You know, the people in the boxes, the upper floor, the circle, whatever it's called. So there's a kind of size there, which is about linked to eyesight, and that is, I always thought that was the best, because then they can see if you're lying, meaning that it's good for rock and roll. Because you can see, does he mean it, or you know, you can see what people's facial expressions are back in the audience and the band. And like once it gets into like hockey arena, or you know, when people get really massive, you lose that Shakespeare dimension. You're so distant from the stage, you know. Although when you get really massive, they put up those big screens, but they must cost a lot to hire or whatever you do, rent them. But that's why doing Fine Nice is good for the crowd. We're trying to make a superb record here, and like you need to think about what you're doing really a lot. I mean, you need to really think about it. And there's not a lot of thinking time in this world, because we've always got something distracting us, whether it's the phone ringing or simple things like that, or the radio babbling, or TV droning on, or you never really get any time to think in this modern world. So yeah, you don't want to throw yourself off by considering what you're doing, you know. You don't want to best concentrate on what you're doing. But we work at night really for that reason, that the phones don't ring. So you can really get into a track. And no one keeps getting, oh, sorry, hang on a minute, you know.
Interrupted.
That always knows me out in a recording studio.
Of course, yeah, you can.
So we tend to, we always switch around to working on the opposite clock, and no phones ring. It was nice. I didn't realise what luxury it was back in the day to just tour for days, like sailing across America on a bus, playing a show and then thinking about the next show, and playing that, thinking about the next show. It was like a holiday.
Sure.